So this is round 1, game 1, and I lost the die roll, so so I'm not going first here. So the hand starts off pretty decently. Elspeth as my early drop, or as my late drop. Isamaru as an early drop, and just stuff to do. So I think I'm okay with just leading off with Isamaru here. So I was okay with that here. No need to mulligan. Opponent goes to Swamp, and I really hope I just don't get Thought Seized or anything, or Duressed, and I don't, so I'm pretty happy with that. I draw a Preordain, but I'd rather just get pressure here, so I just go for the land, and then the Isamaru, and then pass the turn. And then just, second turn, just Preordain. I felt like I'd rather do this than do this with the planes, although that may have been incorrect. I probably should have just done this, just so I could do with whatever with the second land, but... here, when it goes to the Vampire Hexmage, which kind of blanks Isamaru, and this too, so I need to figure a way to get rid of Hexmage before I play Elspeth, because I'm not just playing it for 3 dudes. It's not really what I want to do with that card. Thankfully, I don't really have to think, and my misplay got undone there, so I just Preordain. Here we go with the Serum Visions, and I feel like I'm probably just gonna keep the Serum Visions and then bottom the planes and then just pass the turn here. Can't really attack, so whatever. My plan is to essentially just go for the Serum Visions and sculpt my draw here. And here's a Gatekeeper. So this is a pretty easy sacrifice, but I'm starting to get clocked here. So I sacrifice Isamaru and then get attacked. And then that's the turn. Although I do get not rewarded for doing this because I could have just Serum Vision last turn, so that was definitely a mistake. Here, there's a Phantasmal Image, and here I just play the Flooded Strand, and, or I just play this first, sorry. And I definitely want to keep this, the Venser, just to tempo the opponent, and then just get rid of the island, so... Doesn't really matter, because I'm just going to fetch this, so that was definitely a mistake. Should have just cracked the Flooded Strand first. And then, got an island, so I just get Phantasmal Image, copying the Hexmage, just so it can stick around. And that's fine. Opponent goes for a Hero's Downfall on this, so I sacrifice it. Doesn't really matter. I don't really know why. It's just eating clock, so whatever. So, that died, and I'm getting attacked for 4. But, not the worst thing since I have a ninja here. So I'm just going to copy the Hexmage. Opponent's on 3 cards, so if opponent top decking something huge could be bad for me. But Reveillark also makes that play not so bad as well, because I can just get those 2 clones back, or rather a Isamaru and a clone back. But here I just do this, and also the opponent has a removal spell. That's fine. It just helps me get to the late game. So again, I'm okay with this. Vampire Hexmage comes out, does that, and opponent attacks with Hexmage just so I can get rid of this, just so that the Gatekeeper can start attacking the Punity. I'm willing, I just throw this thing out, and because it keeps my Elspeth safe mainly, so that's fine. So that goes away, that dies, and the opponent didn't have a play, which I was kind of surprised at. But I pay the life to get Reveillark out there. And again, that's fine. It blocks this. If the opponent has a removal spell, that's fine, because the opponent is mono black here. And there's the Damnation. I'm surprised the opponent didn't attack there, but I probably would have just blocked anyway. So, yeah, that goes away. But I don't necessarily mind this. This is actually pretty good for me. So, Reveillark goes away. I get this and a clone, but since there's no clone in play, this all happened at the same time. The image can't clone this, or rather, the student can't copy this. So I have an Isamaru, but that's fine. It's something that defends Elspeth, or it's free, a dude. So whatever. So here I just slam Elspeth. Very, very happy to do so, especially since the opponent got rid of a Hexmage and a Hero's Downfall. So doing this just plussing, and then attacking with Isamaru, and then start going to work here. So the opponent starts taking some damage. And yeah, that's the kind of thing that happened. So here the opponent goes for Animate Dead on my Reveillark to start pressuring Elspeth, but I'm still okay with that here. I can also, I'm probably just next turn just gonna, if it wasn't for that I would have Geddened, but here I just go for the Ajani because, you know, board pressure, and that's fine. And I have a very nice board state here, so plus, and then Ajani, and then minus, just to give all my, make all my creatures absurdly huge. This can kill that, but that's fine. Just want it to do its job. And hold the land because I have a Ravages, so here I just send all the clowns in, and the opponent eats this, which makes sense, so that Ajani will die next turn. So the opponent's at 11, and Reveillark comes in, and Ajani's dead. But that's fine, because Reveillark's still, I mean, Elspeth's still here. Opponent loses some life, and just Toxic Deluge, which makes sense. Opponent gets back, now it's the opponent who gets the Reveillark value train, and there's a Hex Mage and a Gatekeeper. I kind of expected the opponent to sacrifice, which, okay, actually that's what happened, so there we go. And now I have to deal with this Grey Ogre, or this Grizzly Bear, which is annoying. But I have Mirran Crusader, because I'm a lucky person, so do this. And what I should have done, because I'm bad, I should have just cast the Geddon first, Ravages, and then gone land Mirran Crusader, but I'm just dumb, and figure, well, I don't know if the one land's really going to matter, but do this, and the opponent concedes. So that's game 1. Game 2 coming up. So here's game 2, and I join this game, and opponent's deciding whether to play first, and it's pretty easy. You know, keep. Here this hand's fine. I have a couple of manipulation spells here. I have 2 lands and an Elspeth, which is weird. But there's the Serum Visions and this. Also brought in the Damnation, or the Day of Judgment, just because it seems like the opponent's win conditions were mainly creatures, and you know I was gonna win that way. Even though it's an aggressive deck, that seems like that was the correct play. Here I just get Hero and Hallowed Fountain, both of which are pretty sweet. I do this, keep this on top, but I think that's a mistake. If the opponent does have a Thoughtseize or some kind of disruption spell, this could go away. But honestly, if I'm getting duressed or anything, this goes away. But then again, there's him to Torok too. But yeah, I think that was definitely a mistake there. So should have hid this and then drawn the land. So here, there's a Lightning Greaves, which means sorcery speed removal is going to be a little awkward. But I don't really have much. I have this, but whatever. That's fine. So there's a Hallowed Fountain. First I go for the Serum Visions, and both of these are just kind of meh. They don't really do a whole lot. Like 8.5 Tails is fine. But I throw the Ravages away, and then throw that too. And I think that may have been a mistake, just because with the opponent have so many Edicts, I don't, or at least with a playable Edict, and probably bringing some more in against Mirran Crusader, I probably should have just kept the 8.5 Tails as bait, and then just done that, but that was just kind of punt. So, but, you know, both these go on bottom, and then draw, go for this, play that tapped, and then pass the turn. And then just playing Mirran Crusader here. So there's a Hex Mage, and then being attacked for 2. So, yep, that kind of happens. And so I did keep the Ravages, actually. That was kind of weird. I guess the idea was that I would go this, curve out into Hero, and then this and that, and whatever. I don't know, that still didn't seem quite right, but yeah, that's what I did. So here's this, and I decided to just YOLO this guy out, and then, hey, deal with this. But the opponent had the Gatekeeper, which I definitely should have seen coming. But, yeah, like I said, that was just kind of stupid, so I paid the price here with not being able to do that. So this goes away, it's going to get haste, and I'm at 14, so that's what happens there. And But next turn, I'm just going to... And then this gets equipped as a protector, which makes sense. So here, I'm probably just... I go for the hero. Yeah, so I just go for the hero here. And of course, I get punished by drawing the Isamaru, of course. But so I just draw this, and again, make the opponent say, hey, deal with this. Next turn, I can play a Isamaru and Ajani. I'd probably plus it. But depends on the board state, honestly. But this kind of makes the opponent deal with it. Like, do you have the hero's downfall or have the whatever? Or I deal with the, whatever, removal spell. I honestly didn't expect Tendrils of Corruption, but, here we are. And this dies. Opponent gains life, but I don't think it really matters that much. It's just a removal spell, which is fine. It's just kind of expensive. And I'm taking more damage. So I am at 10, which is annoying. Not the best for me, but yeah. And so there's a Phantasmal Image, and I do the same thing I did before with copying it. And I can copy it since it doesn't target these clones, or I think clones in general just always do, which is why I can copy things with protection and whatnot. So blah blah blah, enter as a copy of any creature, not as a target creature. So go for the Isamaru here. Don't know I did that first, but I guess there was some reason. And at first I was thinking of that, but I decided to just go for the Phantasmal Image again and do this to blank the Gatekeeper, which is fine. If the opponent wants to attack, I'll just go for the Bloodbath here. So I'm expecting a Massacre Worm, and I see a Sorin Markov, which is pretty awkward. But I do have this for it, which is fine. But again, it's just more pressure, which is not good for me. Opponent goes for killing this with Sorin, and I'm pretty happy about that, because I'm just going to kill it immediately in response, and because it sacrifices, the opponent isn't gaining life. It's not really that much of an issue, but it's still weird. So I probably was... what I was expecting was this to target Isamaru, and then an attack with both of these, and I would have had to block here, and then sacrifice, but maybe the opponent would just want to get rid of this. But I don't know. Just felt strange. Feels like a 6-mana hero's downfall. So that died. And Sorin Markov's ability goes away. The opponent... I decided if the opponent attacks with both these, I'm just snap blocking and this stays alive. Well, or it just doesn't get chump blocked, so that's fine. And the opponent's at 1 card, so... if I get a land here, I'm very happy, and I probably have it. And I decide getting 3 dudes out of that is still likely fine because I have Ajani, so that's something I'm a-okay with. And I do draw the land, so just decide to do that. Do the Elspeth, do the plus, and then to say go. So let's get Hero's Downfall instead, which is a little awkward, but that's fine. And then opponent attacks, and because Ajani is coming out next turn, I'm not going to just chump block, so I just take it. My life's not in a huge danger. 6 is annoying, but that's not the end of the world. And then there's a Fact or Fiction. So instead, I really just want to pump my creatures, get them out of 2/1 first strike range, and just start putting some pressure, but that's not really the main priority. It's mainly to just, help this board state. But so, essentially just want to get these creatures up. So, attack because they have Vigilance. But, yeah, that's fine. And then, one of these guys gets dismembered, and that's fine. So, dies. Opponent attacks Ajani, and again, just double blocking would just be kind of counterproductive here. So I decided to just wait. That could be incorrect, but the opponent was hellbent actually, so that probably should have just double blocked there. The opponent didn't just snap play the swamp. If I double block, opponent kills this, that kills that, and I have this alive. Oh, the opponent could have just sacrificed it in response, but could have just done first strike and then killed that. So, I don't know. I decided to just let that go. And then, Ajani goes to 1, which is fine, because I'll just cash it in next turn. If it lives. And it does. So I play Mother of Runes first, and then plus my guys, and then attack for however much. So there's no blocks. And I honestly don't know why I just held the Factor Fiction, but what I really should have done is just gone for the Armageddon. The opponent was hellbent and just had a 2-1 first strike, and that's fine. What's the opponent going to draw to get out of this situation? Versus 2-2, like 2 3/3s and a 2-2 Mother of Runes? I don't think that's really a good idea. So I should have Ravaged there, but I guess I'm stupid and just didn't, so thankfully I didn't get punished there. The opponent just played Swamp and then passed. So that was that. And then I just Factor Fictioned. So, but yeah, that was definitely a pretty bad punt to just not play the Ravages there. I don't know. I felt like maybe just having some kind of removal spell or 1-mana removal or whatever would have made sense, but it was completely irrelevant. So, opponent splits 4 cards and Reveillark, and I just go for the 4 cards because, honestly, I don't know if there's really much rhyme or reason. Probably just to get more cards out, but there is Venser here, and again, I play Brimaz there, but again, that didn't really seem to make much sense. So attack with those, and then play Wargear, and then just put it on Mother of Runes. I don't know why I would put on Mother of Runes of all creatures, but that was the plan. So the opponent goes Phyrexian Revoker, and then I tap to give this pro black in response. Again, doesn't really matter because the opponent is hellbent, has no removal spells in hand or anything. So names Mother of Runes as I expected, and then passes the turn. And then there's, I play the Venser here because it can just give all my guys unblockable, and then the Doctor does his thing. All my creatures unblockable. Opponent sacrificed to strip all the counters off of a creature, and wasn't exactly 100% sure on the math, but there wasn't really much the opponent could really do there anyway, so I had to go swing, and the opponent just would have died. So this was what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so that would have killed the opponent. So I did do a punt there, and thankfully I didn't get punished, but that was definitely a bad play. So there we go. So match 2 coming up.